Hello everyone, this is an engineering noise control lecture series. So in this series, we will talk only about the practical aspect of acoustics or noise control in industry. But what are the practical and what are the important parameters that we need to know, and how do we achieve desirable sound cancellation or noise control goals in industry, and what are the basics that we need to know in order to do that. So this series will be relevant to any student who wants to gain some knowledge about noise control or acoustics, and also the series will be suitable for people who are already researching on acoustics related topics or working in industry related to acoustics profile, and they want to understand, they want to sharpen their basics and enhance their knowledge. Also, I would be really glad if you give me your opinion and feedback in comments on my YouTube channel, and I will get an opportunity to improve myself. That will be an honor to me. Regarding me, so I am a PhD in the field of engineering, but my PhD was mostly in the field of heat transfer and fluid mechanics, etc. And acoustics is relevantly a new field for me also, because once I came to industry, it was around three and a half year back. Then I got to know about acoustics and I gained some knowledge while working. So my perspective to see it is a little different. It is I have experienced it practically first, then I started gaining theoretical knowledge. So I will just try to give my perspective in this series, and I will try to talk about the application part more and yet give importance to theoretical part, and how we can use both the aspect to achieve a goal or to innovate something new, or to just improve our skill set and enhance our knowledge. This is my main target. So let's start with a very basic question of why. That why do we study noise control or acoustics in industry? I want to give a very simple example that we all must have experienced. You must have had experienced a noisy ride in a bus, and we must have experienced a luxury ride in a car, or a kind of not, if not very luxury, kind of comfortable ride in a car. So the difference, there are so many difference. Apart from the jerks that we feel, there is a difference in the sound or noise that we experience. Why in the industry, or engineers give a lot of importance to noise or the sound? Because it is one of the factors that influence the merchantability of a material, of merchantability, I'm so sorry, merchantability of vehicle, of equipment, and also it is an important factor that contributes to the comfort of human being and the health of human being. That is why there is a noise pollution, that is why there is a regulation for noise control. And you must have seen no honk region, or less noisy regions, because it is an important factor for human beings, for their comfort, for their health, etc. So the difference in, so let's come back to the slide. So the difference between these two pictures is the level of comfort. In this you can see there are all kind of noises, etc., etc., coming, are experienced by the passenger. And in this, I am sure you must realize that it is relatively a lot more comfortable and quieter experience. So the differences in the design, or definitely the differences in the cost. I'm so sorry for fumbling. I just fumble sometimes when I get entangled in my own thoughts. So you can see there is a difference in the comfort. And cost is not the reason. The design, the engineering of individual vehicle or in individual equipment is the reason. The designing of this equipment is such that the level of comfort is very low, but the designing of this vehicle or a normal comfortable passenger car is such that the level of comfort, the quietness, and the control on the noise is more. I would say that the best way to control noise is to inculcate the knowledge and the engineering principle in the basic design level. For example, if you go in the first picture, let's take an example. This is a theater. Let's take an example of normal, you know, so let's take an example of a novel movie theater that we all must have seen. We see that the interior, the design of the room is such that it gives beautiful sound effects, right? In this, you can just see that there is some very cheap engineering is done to make this room more comfortable. Or this is a cafeteria, maybe more comfortable for the people, and they have put some they have changed some design here. I'll not go into very technical details to make it more comfortable. Similarly, if you talk about the automobile parts, so I work in an automobile industry, so I will be giving most of the examples from the automobile section, the parts, the component, the car, and the different technology that are used in automobile cars. So if you see the component, you see that there are the design of the component is such that it really helps to reduce the noise or the sound, annoying sound, on a design level. And if companies or engineers promise the customer to give the best technology at the cheapest price, then mostly they are talking about the changes on design level and not using extra equipments which increases the cost of the part or the equipment of the car. So we are talking about inculcation of best uh, best of our knowledge, inculcation of engineering principles on a very design level. So let's continue to noise control. Uh, basically, this diagram is the most important and the most basic thing to be remembered for noise control. We can always divide a problem into three parts. So engineering noise control can be divided into three parts: source, transmission path, and receiver. For source, we can always we can always divide the problem into three parts and start analyzing and start interpreting that where we can apply the principles of noise control. Can we manipulate the source? Can we manipulate the transmission path, or can we isolate the receiver or distance the receiver from the source in order to achieve the comfort? Noise reduction. So implement of any measure that will reduce noise being generated or will reduce the noise transmission through the air or through the structure of the workplace. Such measures include modification of the machinery, the workplace operation, or the layout of the workplace. Noise control may take the form of altering any or all of these elements. So, yeah, so I will give a very basic example. For example, suppose your machinery, some part is loose or some part is damaged. So what, and it is creating a lot of noise, which is disturbing the operator or which is disturbing everybody around. So what you can do is you can maintain, or you can remove that part or change that part or tighten up the loosened part. And similarly, you can provide barrier in the transmission path that we will see in the next slide, and how you can isolate the receiver if possible. The best control are those implemented in the original slide. I've already explained this part. So noise control at the source. Suppose there is a source which is generating a lot of noise, and modification of the energy source to reduce the noise generated often provides the best mean of the control. Trust me, if possible, if you can control at the source level, it is the best thing that you can do. Some examples that how you can control it at the source level. One thing I want to tell you, it is not always possible. In some cases we don't have a choice. I'm just talking about the cases where we have a choice, right? So suppose there's a replacement of the loose part or the old part, which is the damaged part, balancing of unbalanced equipment, lubrication of moving part, use of properly shaped and sharpened cutting tools, and sometimes substitution of the material. For example, substitute plastic for a cast iron, or if possible. Trust me, all of these things imply only when there is a choice. And substitution of mechanical power generation. Noise control transmission. So in this section we will see that how we can control noise while it is transmitting. from the source to the receiver, right? Let's see first example. Let's see the example of this house, and so why the sound is not able to reach from this part to this stuff because of the barrier, and that is why a person is able to sleep properly. Okay, and also you can see in some conditions when we get irritated with the sound, we press the pillow on our ear. So what we are doing, we are trying to create a barrier. So either we can create a barrier, a single wall, a partial enclosure, or full enclosure. So what we are doing, basically we are manipulating the sound when it is traveling. uh, uh, yeah, so this is the second part of the second part of the three parts where we have seen that how we can control the noise. Now, I will cover a very important aspect of sound control, which is active and passive noise control. In this lecture, we will just see the basic difference between the two, and this is very important from the perspective of automobile industry and also for some equipments. And we use this active noise control in many headphone also, which is a noise cancellation technique. So you can see in active noise control, which involves suppression, reflection or absorption of the noise radiated by existing sound source by use of one or more secondary sound source or control sources. So in this, I will only cover the basic. Actually, it is a very detailed topic. You can comment if you want to study it, and I will cover it separately. In this, I just want to give an introduction that for active noise control, we have a secondary source which actually cancels the noise by some mechanism. And in the passive source, noise control is sound reduction by noise isolating material such as isolation, sound absorbing, or a muffler rather than power source. In here we are not using any power source. We can do either we make changes in the design or we use some barrier, partial barrier, wall, etc., etc. Whatever we have studied right now, it is a passive noise control. So with this, I want to end the lecture, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more information, for more exciting and interesting lectures, and do give me a feedback if you like this lecture and how I can improve, if it is too lengthy or if it is too less. You can always give me a feedback. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.